So, I wanted to talk about the issues that I have with the term "you are not your body." Now, in some ways, that's a very accurate decision. That's to live life and a good way to think about life. But I think in other ways, it's kind of limiting us, and just keeping us from living and creating a better world for each other. I know people like to say they use "you are not your body" as like a way to make the body some kind of evil, wrong thing, and that's just not the way we need to keep talking about ourselves and each other. And I feel like people are also using that term to like continue the idea of like, oh, just wait until you die and then you can go to heaven or this place or that place and then you can just live eternally for the rest of time. I feel like this is complete bullshit, and I feel like it's keeping us back from making the world a much more enjoyable, pleasurable, better space. Why are you constantly trying to strive for something else? Um, or like it just doesn't feel right to keep saying that. I feel like the more you try to make your body the enemy or something, the more it's going to make everything else worse too. It's like scapegoating or blaming something else that's outside of you. Obviously, that may not be the right sentence, but the way I mean that is like you have a soul and you have a consciousness and you can get a different body. This body may die and maybe I'll have a different life as a woman or something. And I just don't think thinking that way is the right way to live your life, because then that makes our bodies feel as though they're insignificant or as if they don't matter. And I don't believe that's a good way to live life. I don't believe that's how we should be going about life, or how we continue to be treating ourselves, because that's just wrong. Oh, you are not your body. You're gonna die, and then later on, you're gonna reincarnate as this, or this. Bitch, what? Are you dumb? You sound stupid. You sound like you don't like yourself or your body. I feel like that you are not your body. In some ways, it's a very valid explanation. Like, don't indulge too much in physical pleasure over spiritual pleasure or spiritual growth. There is a fine balance between everything. Too much of anything is bad or not best for you, but too little of anything is not good for you either. And by everyone constantly putting on this idea of you are not your body and just making our bodies feel like they are not enough or like they are inherently wrong or evil or can lead us down the wrong track, I think that's where we need to stop. And I think that's the opposite of where we need to be going, because it's just not creating the kind of world that we should. I feel like we should be living in a world where we slightly get sad about one day not being in this physical body. We should all be very proud of our bodies. We should all be engaging in bodily sensations and experiences and using our bodies for the greater good, for enjoyment, for pleasure, for a good life experience. And I feel like the world we've created has gone so far away from that, where we've created this bullshit idea of you are not your body, don't focus on your body's pleasure, or whatever kind of body thing that you think is so wrong and evil that you really just were uneducated about, and that society just created this negative outlook on. It irritates my soul, and I just feel like I want to create a world where death is actually a sad topic. We joke about death like, oh, I can't wait to myself. And it may not sound like a big deal. I understand why I say those things sometimes. Actually, I don't actually think I say it a lot. Yeah, I don't really say that a lot. Um, but I feel like we shouldn't be saying those things, because I feel like even though we have turned it into a joke, I don't feel like that it should exist as a joke to begin with. There has been so much death and people wanting to die because life has been such an unbearable experience, that we now have this kind of ability to joke about it, which I guess is a good thing because we're not making it to like a big sad deal. But the fact that it exists to begin with is what I'm trying to point a light towards. That's just, I just don't feel like life. I feel like we should be actively sad about thinking of the day that we die. But I don't feel like a lot of us think that way. I feel like some of us are very afraid of death, and I just really I want to understand their fear because I don't think I'm afraid of it. I definitely don't want it. I'm like averse to, thinking I'm averse to the topic of death, but at the same time, I have actively tried to, so it's like I don't know. It's like I just don't think I want to actually enjoy this physical body. I don't want to keep limiting it based on what everyone else says you should or should not do. Like, I just don't want to keep saying you are not your body. Bitch, part of me is my body. Why are we trying to separate our bodies and our minds and our souls from each other? It just feels like you're trying to like make one feel better or more superior than the other. Like, oh my god, he's engaging in the fleshly desires. Bitch, oh my god. You stress me out so bad. If you say stuff like that, you're part of the reason why the world is not such an enjoyable, pleasurable space to live in all the time. Like, what the fuck? Are you dumb or are you dumb? I just don't. I'm ready to move on. I want to engage in physical pleasure and sensations and not it be a bad thing. As long as it's not being done in excess, everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. To what moderation is to you, of course. Some people can handle 10 shots. You might be lightweight and can only do two. If two is your moderation, good for you. If 10 is your moderation, good for you. Whatever moderation means to you, engage in that thing in moderation. And every now and then it's good to indulge. Every now and then it's good to cut off and have none of it, like fasting. I just think we really need to focus on the balance of it. We need to have more emphasis on that, and we need to stop making one thing more superior than the other or more inferior than the other. It's just not. That's not going to help us create a better world for ourselves, for each other, and I feel what I'm saying is right. I want to feel good about having a body. I want to be proud of this body. I want to not feel as though fleshly desires are wrong or bad. As long as you also have spiritual ones too, or mental ones, I think we need to stop creating a world where we separate these different desires and pleasures and be your body for a little bit. Just understand, meditate on the version of, or like the idea of, I am my body to a certain degree. Do you not have an ego? Yes. Thinking you're going to have an ego death, I feel like the only true ego death is just physical death, bitch. If we're being honest about the situation. Well, the concept of ego is also, I feel like I'm coming onto a different idea about it that I think it's just your brain. No? Something like that? Maybe not, maybe not. But maybe just a little bit. Um, but yeah, how did I even get here? Actually, how did I start talking about my brain? I don't get it. But just you know that you are not entirely your body. Okay, you are not your body, and you are not just your soul either. Or maybe are we only just one thing? I feel like we are just consciousness then, or awareness of being. I am that I am. Does not matter what form it is that I am in, that I am as, I just am. Like, I am this experience. I am this experience. I am a blonde teenage girl who got murdered when she was 16. And I am a 34-year-old who is a brown man living in a very wealthy, lavish lifestyle. And I know both experiences. I am both experiences. I am everybody that I interact with. I am that I am, or some shit like that. I don't know, bro. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. But it's just, I really want to. I'm out of that bullshit. I'm out of what everyone else thinks of. You are not your body. Bitch, part of me is. That's the whole point we are having this physical experience, is it not? to slightly identify with our bodies. Obviously, don't identify too much. Again, too much of anything is bad. Too little of anything is bad. Isn't derealization where you don't know your identity or something like that? Don't quote me on that. I did take a class on it. I don't, girl. It's in one of my notes somewhere, in one of my notebooks. I can pull it out eventually. I'm not going to. I'm just saying I could if I truly desired. But I don't, so I'm not going to do it. How did I get here? Um, yeah. I'm going to enjoy my body. I'm going to make my body as I desire it to be. Um, I'm not going to depend on what everyone else says you should live your life, how you should live your life. I grew up in a certain way and I desire to be seen. I desire to be validated by other people. And I know that's not a good way of living life. That's not how I desire to fully live my life. Yeah, it's fun to be validated by others, but it's not, at the root of it, it's not something that I choose to depend on. Because, well, from what I've been known, what I've been told, it's just not healthy is to depend on other people's validation. But I feel like maybe part of that is because we weren't validated as children or something like that. Or I mean, I don't know. That's a bigger decision. How did I get here? What? How am I here? Moving back to the situation, please just enjoy your body. Enjoy your physical sensation. Enjoy having the mind. Enjoy being able to have imagination and being able to learn new things. Thank God that you have consciousness. Awaken yourself to the world around you, to the world inside of you, to the world everywhere else. I think I'm going to leave this unedited. Maybe I'll edit some parts out. I really hope you learned something from this or that you feel this way too. Um, I hope this reaches whoever it needs to reach. Just, you aren't your body entirely. You may have a soul, you may have a new life as a different physical body. That does not mean you should be denying this physical body the best life experience that you can. So what? Maybe you needed classes to see. Enjoy it. Maybe you aren't as best of a listener. Work on it. Enjoy it. Be grateful for every single ounce of yourself. And if you realize that, hey, it's actually causing some trouble in my life that I'm doing this, this, and this, or that maybe my ears don't work as much, work on that. Maybe that's part of your life experience and purpose. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you just need to find someone who's loud enough for you to hear, that matches your, that balances you out. Maybe you can't hear as well as other people, but then you find someone who's just obnoxiously loud. Now you have your balance. Life does not have to be so complicated, or sad, or constricted, or suppressed. And that's just not how I choose to live my life. I'm going to enjoy every single bodily sensation that I can, every single spiritual sensation that I can, which I feel like is just your bodily sensations, if we're being honest about the situation. That's a whole different topic too, bro. That's a whole different topic. Because I also realized my mind is just a physical manifestation of my throat muscles moving too, or at least my internal monologue. Maybe my ability to actually learn different things or put myself in different situations. Maybe that's different. Maybe that's what the actual mind is. Oh my god. Okay, before I go on to say anything, if you enjoyed this video and want more of me, well, girl, you're gonna get more of me regardless if you like it or not. But you know, leave a like, please subscribe, and enjoy your life. Just really just enjoy your life and your bodily sensations. You are not your body. That does not mean you should not be enjoying it and experiencing the best life experience with the body that you have. Create a better world for yourself, tied internally and externally. Just make a better world. Ugh, I'm so sick of these bitches. Have a good day. I hope this audio is good, because if it's not, well, y'all are just gonna have to put up with it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you.